for your cast of the Why So Serious show on BlazeRadioOnline.com.
It is Friday, and it is time for the Why So Serious show. I'm Jesse Morrison, joined alongside Mallory Schnell. And Mallory, how does it feel to just, finally get a lot of words and something that sometimes doesn't happen with you?
I'm very excited to talk a lot today.
All right. Well, huge fight in the UFC tomorrow.
Yeah.
UFC 252. Mallory, how excited are you for this?
So excited. I'm going to be tuning in. I'm clearing my schedule.
All right. So it's part 3 of Stipe Miocic and Daniel Cormier. Cormier won the first one. Stipe won the second one. So it's basically the best of 3. It's live from Vegas. I think I got Cormier coming in and winning because you got Stipe winning last time, so it only makes sense for Cormier to come in. They're both pretty old. One's in his early 40s, one's in his late 30s. So this is kind of their last hurrah for both of them. It's crazy, but on the undercard we've got Helena Montana's own Sugar Sean O'Malley and Marlon Vera, and I think that just because he has the connection to Helena Montana and trained in Arizona, that Sugar Sean wins all the way. Isn't that right, Mallory?
Of course. We love anyone that has any connection to Helena. We stan.
Mallory, so you just visited Helena. What are your thoughts?
It's not really my type of place. I like living in a big city, visiting big cities. Not really like that, but it was great to spend quality time with my brother.
Oh, that's so nice. Mallory, put it on the poll. Are you surprised that Mallory doesn't like Helena Montana? Yeah, but I'm excited for tomorrow night's fight. I'll be tuning in. I used to hate UFC, but now that, or I didn't used to hate it. It just wasn't my favorite. But with the shutdown of sports and it being one of the only sports for a few months, I started to finally understand it. Maybe that is what'll happen with Big Brother. Is as I watch it, I'll start to find some joy in it that I didn't find and start to understand it. You just gotta give things time. Mallory, like certain foods, you gotta keep trying them over and over again, right?
I think when it comes to food, right away if you like it or not. I'm a very picky eater.
You didn't tag yourself.
Yeah.
I actually answered yes too.
Maybe one day, I want to work in Helena or something. I don't know.
Maybe you'll be the SID for Carroll College Athletics. The one SID for the entire school.
My dream job.
They have one SID. So how Steve is like the SID for women's basketball, helps out a little bit for football. Like that, if it was Carroll College, he'd do every sport if he was in that role. So that's what happens when you work for a small university that doesn't have a very large athletic budget. But something that that is very disappointing here for us here on the Why So Serious show. I'm gonna hit the music. Phoenix Suns, they went 8-0 in the bubble. Still missed out on the chance to play in the play-in games because Portland beat the Nets. Nets were up 10 at one point. So bye Suns.
It was a really good effort by the Suns. I mean, props to the Nets for going out there and doing their best. They didn't have much on the line, and they still, went out there and played their hardest. So thank you to the Nets for trying, but try harder next time. I don't know,
Mallory, put it on the poll. Do the Nets need to try harder next time? Yeah, it was unfortunate. Devin Booker, he should be named. I know TJ Warren's been really good in this. Damian Lillard's been really good. What? TJ Warren?
Who?
The bubble MVP, TJ Warren.
Who? Oh, you mean Jimmy Butler's child?
No, but I think Devin Booker needs to be the bubble MVP because they are handing out a bubble MVP in addition to the regular season MVP.
And a coach of the bubble, so Monty, possibly.
Yeah, coach of the bubble for Monty Williams. Fun guy to talk to, by the way. I've interviewed him.
Guy.
I got some NBA news. So yesterday they said, "Who's the coolest NBA player?" And somebody tweeted it, and I quote tweeted, and I said, "At JJ Redick, he has a sick podcast." And JJ Redick liked the tweet from my hometown. Isn't that cool? He probably doesn't even realize that he was my camp counselor back in the day.
Have you watched the episodes with Duncan Robinson and Jimmy Butler?
No, is that on his new podcast? Because I haven't listened to the Old Man and the Three yet.
I haven't watched the whole thing, but I know that they were both on his podcast.
Yeah, it's a great podcast. Like that, I'd love to be a co-host of a podcast with an active player. I think that'd be more fun than co-hosting with an ex-player. Even I don't know.
I don't know. Depends.
The Nets need to trade. All right, Mallory. What's the bub date? What's going on? They got some time. They got a few days of downtime.
I think Ron is calling.
Ron, want to talk on the show?
Hello. I'm in the middle of recording the show. Do you have anything to say? Okay, bye.
Nothing. He hung up.
It was my mom. Yeah.
Well, we've had your mom on before to give love advice. She's given us the great advice of text. Don't text conversations. Have a phone call. That's the best thing that she's brought onto our show.
Update. We've got Whiteside getting into his video games. Very excited about winning in Call of Duty.
He's the bub date MVP.
Yes. Saying Big Dubsky.
Like his team had yesterday.
And we have Jaylen Brown and Taco Fall bowling.
Goodness, Taco Falls, his hand must be the size, like he must just like, I don't know, like I want to see, wow, yeah, it looks tiny. He's probably using like a 15 or 16 pound ball.
That's pretty good.
Right.
Can I get in the bubble? They're all having so much fun. I want to go bowling.
Like, I'm so jealous. Like, I want to be in the bubble.
Like there's certain things that I took for granted, back when there was, freedom, like, the ability to go bowling. Like, I'd go bowling sometimes with friends, but like, I wouldn't go like all the time. But like, if I had to say it again, bowling's pretty fun. I would go more. I don't know. What about you?
Bowling, I went bowling with Jeremy and Marie back in February. I won, so I'm an expert bowler. So
where did you guys go bowling?
Yikes, we forgot to invite you. I'm just kidding. We went
was that during the Super Bowl weekend?
Yeah, we went, over there to that place.
To that place. Is it the one in Cityscape?
Yeah.
That's like, okay, yeah, that's fun. It's like the restaurant too. The food's really bad, but
yeah, but we went like at like a random time. We just like had waters, nothing to eat.
Yeah. It's a fun place to go though. But your Miami Heat, they lost. They're gonna be the 5th seed.
But the Miami Heat wanted to lose these past 2 games so that they could be the 5th seed rather than the 4th seed, because that equals a higher draft pick. And really being the 4th or 5th when it comes to the playoffs doesn't matter. Home court advantage isn't a thing. We were already set to play the Pacers, who we just happened to play the final regular season game against today. They sat their good players. We sat our good players. Very scary moment with Derrick Jones Jr. He took a hard fall and, was on the ground for about 18 minutes. So they had to get a stretcher and wheel him off the court. He has a neck strain, they're calling it. They're going to reevaluate soon. So we're wishing him the best. But guess who started for the Heat today in his 500th?
A 500th. That's a
500th career start. The 40-year-old, the OG, number 40, Udonis Haslem, started for the Miami Heat for the first time this season. Let me pull up his stats because I feel like he had an impact on the court today. This could have very well been his last game ever as an NBA player.
I mean, he might get in scrub time in the playoffs if they blow out a team or get blown out. You never know.
All right, Udonis Haslem,
How many minutes did he play?
23. Solomon Hill played 40 minutes.
Wow. I feel like 23 minutes might be the most minutes he's played since like 2012. I want to look at it.
7 points, 8 rebounds.
That's pretty good, honestly.
The MVP today was Solomon Hill. In 40 minutes, he led the team with 21 points, 3 assists, and 7 rebounds.
I've not been watching as much of the bubble as I thought I would. I watched a quarter of my team. Like, we went 1-7. Like, the Wizards were the worst team in the bubble. They should get.
The Wizards are pretty bad.
What'd you say?
The Wizards were pretty bad.
Kings were bad too. Pelicans weren't great. But I think we win the award.
We're going to get some more TJ Warren and Jimmy Butler for a whole series. Very funny on the Dan Le Batard show earlier. They had TJ Warren on, started asking him. They asked him about 3 or 4 questions in a row about Jimmy Butler. He hangs up the phone. Does not want to talk about it.
They've gotten a lot of people to hang up the phone on them in the past on that show, which it's always makes for a good show moment. But one of my favorites, probably my favorite, is when they had Kyle Busch on, and Dan goes, "You're the driver that likes to fight people, right?" And he goes, and he was just like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, you like to fight people. You like to start things." And he was just like what? He's like, "Yeah, you like feuds, right?" Basically, and then Kyle Busch just hangs up, and they're like, "Oh, Kyle, you there?" Yeah, he hung up.
Kyle Busch, big M&M guy.
Yeah, huge. And Skittles, whichever one. He's got a floor. We've talked about this like 5 times on the show. The whole floor dedicated to him in Vegas. You know, he's from Vegas too, so it makes sense.
Perfect.
Yeah, he and his brother are from Vegas. They're both NASCAR champions. Winless Kyle Busch this year. It's great. We love to see it.
You know who's not winless?
What'd you say?
You know who isn't winless? Austin Dillon.
The guy that I when I went back to cut out that part of the show that time that I had to leave, and you were talking about it, you're like, "I don't even like him. He caused my sunburn." You can't blame your sunburn on him. You have to blame your sunburn on your lack of sunscreen. Austin Dillon didn't do it to you.
Wait, so now do you have to cut this part out because you just said that again?
No, we don't have to cut this out. Why do I have to cut it out? Why do I have to cut this out? What? What'd I do?
Well, because you said you cut it out last time, so I wouldn't.
No, I cut it out because I had to leave the room. Remember? And you guys were just talking off air, and you're like, "I don't like him. He caused my sunburn."
True.
You can't blame it on Austin Dillon.
No, it was Austin Dillon's fault. It was my fault. It was my job's fault for not having shade and all that stuff.
I mean, it's. I think it only lies on the fact that it's Arizona and you didn't bring sunscreen. He was just there to throw out a first pitch, Mallory. Like, you know.
Yeah, I was just supposed to cover the first pitch, and I decided to stay for the whole game because my roommate was there, cheering on the Indians, and so I wanted to keep her company. So I, out of all of the spots, we sat on the lawn, right in the sun for 3 hours.
All right, Mallory, put it on the poll. Put it on the poll. Was it Mallory's fault or Austin Dillon's? No context on the sunburn. Just was it Mallory's fault or Austin Dillon's? All right. Well, we got to move on. We got to move on to my favorite segment that we're gonna do today. I got to pull it up real quick. Start sharing the screen. I'll start the screen share. Okay, here we go. All right. So Mount Rushmore of Zooperstars. If you all do not know, the Zooperstars are a traveling, entertainment promotional group. They're basically zoo animals.
Never heard of them until
They're like,
today.
yeah, you're from Miami. You guys don't really have minor league teams. I mean, I don't know if you're more. I think Fort Lauderdale has a few minor league teams. If you were more in the Fort Lauderdale area, then you would be, you would be more
I'm
familiar.
more in the Fort Lauderdale area than I am the Miami area.
Is there a minor league baseball team in Fort Lauderdale?
No idea.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I voted Austin Dillon. You're welcome. Yeah, so Zooperstars, I'm going to show a little video here of kind of what they're all about. So here's my guy Squiddy Crosby. He's gonna do his thing. Squid, based off of Sidney Crosby.
This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen.
This is Eat It by Weird Al. I'll fast forward a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know if we need to watch 2 minutes and 35 seconds of it.
What was that?
We don't need to watch all 2 minutes and 35 seconds.
No, we do not. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit here, and we don't need the volume up either. They are playing Eat It, so spits out a baseball. I think he has eaten someone. Oh no, here comes the player. And he's gonna walk over here, and yeah, he's gonna devour the player. Or no, he's devouring an umpire, unfortunately. This might not be a real umpire. But yeah, the umpire is devoured by Squiddy Crosby.
Paid actor.
Yeah, it might be a paid actor. We don't know for sure. But yeah, there you go. And then starts spitting out pieces of his clothing. Yeah, there was a piece of the clothing. And then at the end, spits him out, and the umpire has just his underwear on, so he's running around like a crazy man. So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that they do on the Zooperstars. So let me share it one more again. We're gonna go back to Go O's, by the way. I'm gonna go back to the Zooperstars here. So we're gonna go through our Mount Rushmore of Zooperstars. Mallory, who do you want to go with first?
Let me look at my list here. Okay. First we got Ichiro Suzuki.
All right, here's our guy Ichiro. I think he walks upside down or something, or this is just
It's kind of hard to follow what's going on here. I can see that there's a Mariners uniform, but some like the body's upside down and there's 4 hands. Oh, yeah, okay, I see it now. Those are the eyes. Okay. Yeah, it's very, very hard to understand, but I'm a big Ichiro fan. I'm all for this Ichiro Suzuki.
All right, my first one is it's Nomar Garcia Parrot. He should be around here somewhere. Yeah, here's Nomar Garcia Parrot. So, yeah, Nomar Garcia Parra, of course, the former Red Sox player. Yeah, so let's read the. Nomar Garcia Parrot is known to have his name flying around in trade rumors, but he is happy swooping around any baseball stadium. This parrot can usually be found hanging out at the ballpark or at home with his favorite rodent and fellow Zooperstar wife Mia Hamster. Because actually, in real life, Mia Hamm and Nomar Garcia Parra are married. Fun fact. I believe that is true. I think they were at some time. All right, Mallory, your next one.
Okay, Stallion Iverson.
All right, here he is. Philadelphia 76ers, great. He's even got some of AI's tattoos.
Mm-hmm. I thought this was a hippopotamus at first, so that's honestly why I chose it. But now, Stallion is obviously a horse. I have nothing else to say other than I wish it was a hippo.
And if you notice, just like Allen Iverson, he's got his mane in cornrows.
Nice.
And he's from Dribbleville. He's a lot taller and a lot heavier than the real Allen Iverson.
Yeah, 1,800 pounds. That's like a hippo weight,
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be very good at basketball, but you never know. Honorable mention for Tommy Swordfish. That's a good one. But my second favorite here is it's got to be it's got to be Cal Ripken Jr. because, I'm an Orioles fan, and who doesn't love a good Cal? So Cal Ripken Jr., he's 9 feet 8 inches tall. He weighs 2,632 pounds. He resides in the pastures of Baltimore, which definitely don't exist because it's a big city. Yeah, let's hear you move for this crazy cow. This big bovine grazes in the homogenized pastures just outside of Baltimore. He's a true holy cow because he set the record for most consecutive milkings in a career. Move over because cow is the Iron Man.
Ridiculous.
Also, if it's a he, then he kind of can't be milked. So I'm very confused.
I'm pretty sure, I saw something on Twitter recently that, all cows can be milked, but I'm not sure.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't quote me.
We need to get a cow expert. We should get someone from the Phoenix Zoo to come on our show, talk animals.
Let's send him an email.
Yeah.
Okay, next I have Wayne Gretzky. The greatest hockey player of all time is Wayne Gretzky, obviously. So here we've got Wayne Gretzky, 10 feet 6 inches, 3,099 pounds, resides in the Hudson River. What's the beautiful blubber-headed blonde, for sure. Blowhole that really blows. Tantalizing tail that tosses and turns. Helmet for hard-hitting. Oh!
Hey, look who it is!
Look who it is!
Whoa, he showed up! He's back and better than ever. There he is, Alex Coil. Welcome back to the show. Is that an Auburn polo shirt?
It is indeed an Auburn polo shirt.
I thought you hated Auburn.
No, I hate Alabama.
Do you have a top for Zooperstars?
To be fair, I don't know what the Zooperstars are. So
what? You're from a minor league town.
Actually, okay. I have seen the Zooperstars, but I don't remember anything about them.
Here they are. If you can see, I'm sharing the screen. We've got Dick Vitale, Deion Salamanders, Donovan McCrabb, Dennis Frogman, Alex Berkman.
Been working.
How was it? Did you revive your career?
We have some stories, that's for sure. We have some stories from the days of the Midwest Collegiate League.
How well socially distanced was it? Okay, all right, there we go. We'll move on from that. My second one, or my third one, it's going to be Clammy Sosa.
Solid choice.
Clammy Sosa right here, former Chicago Cubs great. People just like Squiddy Crosby. I don't know if this looks like a regular person, not an umpire this time. The last time Squiddy Crosby ate an umpire. So yeah, he ate an umpire. I think
it's dangerous out there.
8 feet 6 inches, a little taller than took a little more steroids than Sammy Sosa. Open wide for this muscle-bound muscle with the hustle. Clammy Sosa. This super shell-headed mollusk comes from the depths of Lake Michigan near Chicago. Clammy's a seafood slugger that steals the show. Watch out or he'll swallow you whole.
Now, here's the question, though. Does he sprint out to the outfield with an American flag?
I don't know. All right, Mallory, your last one.
Serena Williams. We've got to have a female one in here.
Yeah, Serena Williams, great tennis champion. There she is at Wimbledon. Definitely was at Wimbledon. Wimbledon would definitely let the Zooperstars in. They definitely are part.
But they have to wear all white though.
Yeah, I don't know. Like she's in U.S. Open regalia, not in Wimbledon regalia.
The weight on this one is kind of funny. Wait, we'll never tell.
Yeah, you don't ask that question.
Got a nice height too, as well.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
Just like Tommy Malone for the Orioles, he has a nice number.
It's true.
Didn't play well tonight, but it's okay.
Not a nice game from him.
Baseball, Alex. We should, since we're done with our Mount Rushmore, we weren't going to go into baseball today, but because I haven't had a very good day baseball wise. But stop sharing the screen. So what are your thoughts on the baseball? What are your thoughts on the baseball season so far, other than the St. Louis Cardinals?
Yeah, I mean, that's other than the Cardinals, it couldn't be going any better. I mean,
Yeah, the Marlins had a problem too.
But that would they handled that much better than the Cardinals did, and obviously biased being a Cubs fan, but I mean Cubs are playing well. It seems like nobody has a good bullpen. The bullpen this year.
Orioles have a great bullpen this year.
Besides the Orioles, every bullpen just blows. So.
Miguel
Hey,
Castro.
Orioles and Marlins in the playoffs.
Yeah, right. As of now, I mean, unless the Orioles pull more of these 13-3 losses to the Nats after sweep.
They won the first game though. They won the first game.
Yeah, it was the game from Sunday that they should have just called that game because it was the Nats' fault with the tarp, and it was an official game by that point. Just call the game. Just Nats get a better grounds crew.
Steven Strasburg started both games in that doubleheader.
What are you playing with?
Got a golf ball.
Got a golf ball. Okay. We were gonna go into some NHL talk. If you want to hang
We
out.
can do that.
What'd you say?
We can do that.
Okay. So unfortunately for me, I'll start off with this. Unfortunately today, my Washington Capitals went down 2-0. Alex Ovechkin could have tied the game with a completely different game if he had tied it with a wide open net and missed it. I mean, the Islanders scored two more again. One was an empty netter, but it was just it's just another game where they jumped out to a lead and then it disappeared, and it was really a bad game. I could see them getting swept. Not gonna lie.
Probably. The Islanders have really good defense. That's what I noticed in the Florida series. So.
All right. Yeah. Well, it would only be fitting for the Capitals to lose, just because I give you guys so much crap for being Panthers fans that
It feels like Alex Ovechkin is just not really. I don't want to say he doesn't care, but he just doesn't seem locked in.
He was locked in. He scored the first two goals. It would have given him a hat trick, but that was just something that he doesn't miss. I think it's age, man. Other times,
like even like the round robin games, he just wasn't. And he just was not.
Yeah. You're right. Like he doesn't seem locked in. Number one, but it's father time, man. That's all I gotta say. He's 34 years old now. It's his 15th season. Going on his 16th season. At some point these guys like Brady and Obi and Crosby and those people that we've kind of grown up with being great.
Maybe his son can take his spot.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if one of his kids end up in the NHL.
Have you seen those videos?
No, are they like?
Oh, you gotta see some of those videos. He's like probably maybe 1.5 or 2, and he's.
I mean, he was born like right after the Cup.
Yes, like he's got a slap shot. Holds the stick the wrong way, but he's got a slap shot.
Yeah, I'm sure his dad will fix that. Find him the best coaching, the best junior team to get on, or maybe he'll play in the KHL as a young kid. I believe Ovi started in the KHL. So we'll see, but it'll be interesting to watch. Unfortunately, the Claude Julien, I think is how you say it. We don't have Evan on today, but he's gonna be out the
series. Yeah,
the Canadians. It's just the series. It's not the entire playoffs.
As of now, from what I was watching, it was just a series.
Okay.
But
I saw yesterday that it was going to be the rest of the playoffs, and they were just going to go interim all the way.
Yeah, it's definitely a serious situation. It could end up being that way. So
they couldn't have played better today, though.
No.
What was the final score? 5-0.
5.
Yeah, and they evened up that series. So that they couldn't have played better today.
Right.
And
well, what's going on with the Blackhawks?
Well, so they were I think they were the 24th ranked team out of the 24 in.
Yeah.
Played very well. I mean, they exposed the Oilers. Couldn't do a better job in that series. And then, I mean, run into a buzzsaw in the Knights. Just really bad hockey, especially in the third period in their game one. Played really well into overtime, and just they need to make that more chippy. And yesterday was very physical, and then got last change these next two games. Hey, series doesn't start until the home team loses. So
Series doesn't start until there's no home. I mean, there's technically home teams, but they're playing in a bubble.
hey, series doesn't start until the home team loses. We got red jerseys. We got Jim Cornelius singing the national anthem. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah,
Hawks.
over like Skype or Zoom.
Let's go Hawks.
Bubble sports are great. You know, we love them though. Like they've been.
Oh yes.
They're so stress free because when you watch baseball, you're like, you know, this could be the last game I watch this year. But then when you watch a bubble sport, you're like, I can relax and enjoy it knowing that there's more.
Like it had me even watching the NBA, which I personally do not like the NBA, but I actually watched with intent yesterday as Karis LeVert has an awful last possession.
Yeah,
Just brutal.
We played earlier before you joined the show. We played Arms an Angel by Sarah McLaughlin just because of the Suns and but Devin Booker MVP of the bubble in my opinion.
Oh, easy, and coach of the bubble, but they're going fishing.
Yeah,
They're fishing early.
I mean they already were going fishing because it's the bubble and they stocked a lake full of players. But Alex, by the way, college football. There's only 3 leagues that are gonna try to do this. Are you going for Auburn now that I see the shirt there and your favorite player, Flo Nix?
Well, so definitely Notre Dame's still technically playing, so they would be the team.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But I mean, there's room for Bo Nix to maybe have a sophomore season.
That was an all-time show moment. Blow Nix.
He's just like he's not as bad as I think he is. He's not as bad as I say he is, but the hype he was getting, and I was so I don't hate Auburn. Obviously, I'm wearing an Auburn polo here. I do not like Alabama, but the win against Oregon was people were giving him so much credit for that. He threw the worst ball on that touchdown. The receiver helped him so much. Oh, Heisman, come on.
Let's see his stats from last year. Also, should college players get paid for this season, Alex?
No.
Playing during a pandemic.
Don't play. They should not be playing.
Well, that's true. You're right. I think they should be allowed to profit off their likeness, but not.
No. The reason they shouldn't is because okay, it's 2 different things here. If you believe they should, then you should also know that screws over all of the small sports.
Yeah. That's the problem with paying them. But
even the endorsements, because then companies are going to start paying the athletes instead of donating that money to the schools for the sponsorships.
Yeah, but they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out.
There's only so much money to go
Nike
around.
still sponsors the NBA, and they also sponsor the athletes in the NBA. Adidas with the NHL, and they also sponsor NHL.
But that's Nike though. But what about the Valley Ford dealers that sponsor ASU athletics? But instead, they're going to get a Jaden Daniels or an Eno Benjamin to throw that money to instead of the money that's donated to the athletic department getting spread evenly. All that money will go to 2 football players.
Or they can sponsor ASU and use Jaden Daniels as an endorsement for their ASU sponsorship and their company, and therefore they make extra money because Jaden Daniels says, buy a Sanderson Ford truck. I think
that money would be going to in order for Jaden Daniels to be profiting off his name and likeness, he would have to be getting that money. Not that money wouldn't be going to ASU.
Also, think about it. You could put Daniels on the back of a jersey. He would get some of the money. ASU would get some of the money instead of a number 7 jersey. And then think about it. A number 5 jersey. Think about it. The next number 5 they would get, because think about it. They could have Manny Wilkins jerseys that they get profit off. And then instead of that kid just being like, okay, my jersey's now a Jaden Daniels jersey. No, that kid has got to buy a Jaden Daniels jersey too because it has his name on the back. I think that there's both sides to this.
I mean, yeah, those are two very good points, but I still think that that money wouldn't make up as much as it should, and just like we're seeing without a football season being played or major sports being played, that schools like Stanford had to cut 12 athletic.
True, but they were
and ASU had to redshirt their entire, that wasn't because of money, that was because of competition, but they had to redshirt their entire swim and dive teams.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot difficult, but I think they should at least try it.
But the thing is, once you try, there's no going back.
Mallory, what do you think? Think players should be allowed to profit off their name and image and likeness and stuff?
I read a whole article about this for one of my classes last year, and there's honestly, I go back and forth all the time. It's just because I feel like then sports like tennis and golf and stuff, they're not gonna, it's not fair to them. They're not gonna get anything. And
Right.
Time for to be working at Chick-fil-A or have a school job because they're so invested into their sport. They should be paid for being an athlete, but the smaller sports aren't gonna get that recognition. So it's just I don't know.
I mean, I have another solution. You pay the athletes and don't give them full rides.
Right. Yeah. That's what you would have to do.
Because
at that point they're employees and they're not students. Because then they're
right.
Yeah, but Kyle, I mean, they still can go. I think they have to be a student. But I think that scholarship should be based off of your academic performance and your academic performance only. And somebody like Kyle Williams, give him a full ride because he's a great student. But somebody that might not be as great of a student, gets paid. It's just thought.
Oh, yeah, and I agree. These. The way it is now, especially the high sports, they don't. The idea is that they don't really go to class that much, and they're not. While they're getting paid in this tremendous degree, they're not really using it. Where I think what you should there's no question that things need to be changed in how it's run, because they're getting paid in this tremendous education. You're getting stipends, you're getting great health care while you're in school, you're getting all that tremendous stuff and exposure while you're in school. But some of the guys aren't actually taking advantage of that scholarship and the education side of things. And I think there should be more of an emphasis on that. Because the difference between them and us here, we have to pay to get that same education, and we'll be paying for that for years after school, and they get to graduate, most of them debt-free.
They have to play for that education.
But they get the exposure from that, they get the health care from that, they get the benefit, they get food, everything paid for. If they're a big time, we're talking big time, basketball, the two basketballs and the footballs here, they get paid in all of that, and they don't have the setbacks immediately out of school that you and I would,
Yeah, but there is the thing that it takes up so much of their time. There's football.
I agree with that 100%. It should be work to where they focus on their school. Yes.
Why aren't they allowed to do a Blaze radio show or cover why can't a football player cover baseball? Doesn't make any sense to me.
I think they should, and I think. Walk-ons are different in that way, where they get, I think, a lot more leeway. We see that with a couple of our friends here. But yeah, there should be no reason that, let's say, I don't know, I think Kalen Balaj was a sports journalism major, I think, and there's no reason why he shouldn't be able to be on, do this show with us, And there's no rule against it. He just doesn't have the time.
Yeah, our friend that we're talking about, I've asked him a couple of times, and he has to go through compliance before he goes on our show, even though he's a journalism student, which just doesn't
really,
which doesn't even make any sense to me. And he's planning on it, but he has to ask compliance if he can go on our show. And it's not even to ask to talk about ASU football. I've just said, hey man, if you just want to come on and talk sports, whatever. He likes baseball, he likes other sports. He's a sports journalism major. He's my friend before he's a football player.
Right, yeah.
So it's just an interesting topic.
And now he does also have a good option with the platform he has with Sun Devil Athletics with the articles that he's written.
Yeah.
That is something that is not as, I mean, yeah, you can get interns with that, but he does have that opportunity.
Yeah, that's good. But
right, that's tremendous. But again, he's
what about
one
if turning
of,
at 98.7?
he's one athlete. Right, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Alex, do you have a what are we doing?
You guys go first,
While
whole
we
thing.
go. What'd you say?
You guys go first, whole thing.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
Mallory, do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You start.
Okay, so my what are we doing is the 29% of people that in some survey that I saw that don't support kneeling. That's about it. I don't, those people, it's a peaceful protest. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Mallory?
My what are we doing is the city of Salt Lake. They just decide that they can wear their masks like underneath their nose and just cover their mouths. I was in Salt Lake for about 3 hours today. I had a connecting flight, and I'm pretty sure 75% of them wore their masks underneath their nose. And like, what's the point of that?
Completely destroys the purpose.
And my favorite mask that I saw was this. It said, "This is for Karen." It was great.
Alex, are you, speaking of what are we doings, you went on for my what are we doing. Are you aware of Aubrey Huff's Twitter?
Unfortunately.
He's a clown.
He's
such a,
I actually like rooted for him when he was on the Giants teams because I thought he was a good guy. And then
yeah, he was an Oriole. Like he was a really good first baseman for the Orioles. Like he had a 30 homer, 100 RBI season for us.
He played a big role for the Giants.
Yeah, that first time, yeah, he had a home run in the World Series to right field. Yeah, but he's a terrible human being.
Yeah, I will never understand any of that, but yes.
Yeah, what are we doing, Alex?
Yeah, I guess I'd go to the Power 5 conferences not being able to make a decision at the same time. And on top of that, the 3 conferences that still plan to actually play football in the fall when it's obviously very clearly not going to happen.
Yeah, it's
just not smart.
Yeah, it's not smart. And, like I've made this point before that it's even football. Like, I think the NFL should be in bubbles. They need 4 different bubbles, 2 divisions in each of them. You play, I think they go up to the 17 game schedule 1 year early because they're not playing preseason games. You play your division 3 times, and then you play the other division twice. And, you go to State Farm Stadium, Detroit or Minnesota for the Northern Division teams. I think Indianapolis for the Southern Division teams because it's the, least hopping city of the Dome stadiums, and then Jerry World for the East teams. All the Dome stadiums, no weather problems. You play 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday since there's limited college football at least this year. And so, yeah, I like that. They would never listen to me on that because they're adamant on allowing a 5% fans or whatever they want to do and making that money. So it's just all money, and it's. But football players a lot of them are, even though they're the most in shape obese people in the world, at the same time they are obese, and the coronavirus and obesity don't mix. So even though these guys are in impeccable shape for being 6'5", 330.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, so here's this. You guys have probably talked about this, but since this is my first time on since then, what's your leader in the clubhouse for the new Redskins or the new Washington franchise name? I apologize.
I like Red Tails. I
like the Red Tails too.
I like Red Tails or Pigskins. Not a lot of people like Pigskins, but some.
That would be too much of a.
But Red Tails is good. I have a name that I came up with, the Lawmakers. I think that would be cool because you're making the law on the field, and it's DC related. But I think Red Wolves is awful. I think that's what they're going to end up.
Red Wolves.
Okay. But just like the Coyotes, but you got people howling on 3rd down.
Yeah, it's
on
cool,
defense, just going nuts.
We need a team that makes sense for the city.
I agree.
Like Red Tails, yeah, it's Tuskegee, Alabama that they're from, but they were still fighting for the United States of America. So, I think that one totally totally works. So
Well, okay. Well, what about this? You change the name every time there's a new president, so you have the name of the president as your team.
yeah, that would be
Starting after this election.
I mean, potentially. That'd be interesting. They just have a face of the president on the
Yes.
no, and once the presidential portrait is made, they just have a presidential portrait.
And the mask.
The Washington Rushmores.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't the Mount Rushmore in like South Dakota?
Exactly.
Yes.
I think it's where my friends got a job recently as the sports reporter for the town's newspaper. The sports reporter.
So, like the Ohio State University, the sports reporter.
Yes. So like for Aberdeen, South Dakota, she is the sports reporter because that's what happened. I'm pretty sure Carson Field might also be the sports reporter for his newspaper. That's what happens when we,
Hey, he covered the rodeo a couple weeks ago, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like Jeremy now.
We were up in Mallory just came back from Montana. I was
First time Montana. Actually, I went to Yellowstone when I was younger, but first time Helena goer. Not my type of place, but
we put that on the poll already. Are you surprised that Helena is not Mallory's type of place? She said.
How long were you there, Jesse? Seems like you were there for like 9 years.
I was there for like 2.5 weeks almost.
Huh.
Well, it was during the like craziest time of COVID here.
Right.
I just got out basically.
Smart.
So, and then I came back and it got better. As I expected, because I don't know. When do you get here?
Me, for a week from today.
Week from today, okay. So you're not
after classes start.
Why?
So that was actually the date I was given to move in.
Okay.
But I was going to ask for that date anyway because we were supposed to end the season on Wednesday.
Okay.
But we ended early because all the players are gone. So.
Okay, gotcha. Well,
no positive tests all year that we know of, so that's good.
That's good. Were they actually tested though? If you can go on the record.
Say that again.
Were they actually tested? If you can go on the record.
Not by the league. I mean, I know players that took tests.
Okay, that's cool. Hey. Well, were there fans at these things or no?
We basically only one team used its normal stadium.
Okay.
And that's an actual stadium. So they're capped at 250 people, and it was relatively socially distanced, so that was pretty good. And then the other ones we just changed fields so much, and there were probably max 50 people at any of these one game, so it wasn't horrible.
I got to do play-by-play in Montana.
I saw that. I
did 5 American Legion games, which was absolute blessing, as I'm sure you feel with what ended up happening, because I still had my summer internship with the Crush, but we were just doing podcasts throughout the summer. So that was cool, but not the same as a 40 game schedule like we were supposed to do. So,
yeah, we were scheduled 47 games in 47 days.
47 games in 47 days.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got paid for the podcast, which was nice.
Nice, yeah.
But we only did. Yeah, but it's not the same. I mean, but 5 games instead of none. Like this year, it's been like little bit is better than nothing. Like NBA bubble is better than nothing. NHL bubble better than nothing. We'd love to have fans, but you can't. It's not always gonna happen. Like you want it to go. So. All right, well, that'll do it. Thank you, Alex, for hopping on here for the first time in a while. You were my What Are We Doing for like 4 days in a row.
Glad to be back.
I don't know if you saw where the poll the other week where you're just like, where's Al?
Yes, indeed.
All right, well, yeah, that'll do it. Follow us on Twitter at @Y and then So Serious Show.
What about the polls?
Oh yeah, the polls. I'm sorry.
Okay.
That's a fine. That's a fine.
Can
You're still
a
doing
book
fines?
Or yeah, everything is the same, Alex, except we have like expanded people and we're doing shows every day.
So we expanded playoffs, basically.
Yes, expanded playoffs. Paid actor ? I don't know. Mallory didn't put that one out, but that's the funniest one of the day. 100% yes.
Wait, I was reading the polls. What are you doing?
Oh, you're reading the polls? Okay, go on.
Starting at 8 hours ago, can a book titled Ben Hogan's 5 Lessons have the subhead The Modern Fundamentals of Golf? 100% no.
Yeah, Ben Hogan, he played in like the 40s. Can it be the modern fundamentals of golf?
Who?
Ben Hogan, the golfer.
Who?
He designed a lot of courses, I think.
Who? Exactly. Who?
Ben Hogan, he's an all-time great golfer in like the 30s and the 40s.
As I'm holding a golf ball, I should know that.
Yeah, I applied. I got a job interview at PGA Tour Superstore today because, no college football. So
Solid.
next week I'm writing about how Sun Devil Stadium is being turned into Top Golf Live.
Wow.
That'd be
I kind of want to go, yeah. If I do
Yeah.
the story, should I Stugatz it and be like, I'll come out, I'll cover your event, like, how about that?
live from Radio Row. How about that?
Super Bowl week.
Okay.
Radio Row at Top Golf Live.
Did it? Oh, Radio Row at Top. Maybe we can get credentialed for the show, but
There you go.
only if they give us like the Top Golf spread as well as the,
We need to have our own bay, like our own.
we
Yes.
have our own bay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Mallory, keep going.
Now that his season calling baseball games is over, should Alex join the show tonight? 83% yes.
Hey, the fans wanted me back, and they got what they wanted.
Are you surprised that Mallory doesn't like Helena Montana? 50-50.
Never happened
What?
before.
It's happened before.
We should really stop that. It's the worst thing we do. The Levitard show stopped doing that.
Do the Nets need to try harder next time? 75% yes. Was it Mallory's fault or Austin Dillon's? 100% Austin Dillon.
For her sunburn.
Paid actor? Question mark? 100% yes.
All right. Well, now make sure to follow us on the letter Y So Serious Show on Twitter. We downloaded a TikTok too. TVA on when that starts posting clips. It's up to Mallory because it's her job.
Jeremy made the TikTok.
Jeremy has his own job. All right. Peace, everyone. Good night, Canada.